So a huge welcome to week 4. We are officially halfway through the Awaken program. I'm really hoping that you've had a great week. The energy, let's just start by saying, obviously, Sunday was a little bit of a shift up in energy for a lot of people. And from groups that I've been around or individuals that I've spoken with, I'm really hoping that you have managed to keep your vibration up. And if not, the good thing is that tonight we're going to be doing a couple of exercises that's really going to help you to future focus. That in itself is really powerful. And what we're going to be looking at tonight, so just to kind of rewind, we have worked through the heal section. That is going to continue to come up as we go through. We did last week the values. So thank you for everyone, because you sent me over your values. It's really, really insightful to be able to see those. And as we're moving forward now, we're going to be getting even more interactive. I'm going to be opening up what is called a coaching circle in all sessions moving forward. There may still be the odd bits of notebooks or PDFs for you to download, but now we're really going to be getting our teeth into more of the, okay, what do you want? And then when we start getting clarity on that, no doubt things come up, blocks come up. And what I found from doing programs and masterminds and all sorts before is one of the most valuable things that people feedback and say that they learn from is other people. So is when other people share what's going on for them and we do some interactive coaching. That in itself is really powerful because you get to hear different perceptions, different challenges, and how to work through that. So just a little bit of a pre-frame. So if you are sat there and you're like, God, somebody's talking about health and fitness, or they're talking about creating a business and you don't run a business, or you're not focusing on your health, try not to switch your mind off. Try not to disengage. The reason being is there may just be that nugget that you may need right now, or you may come to use in the future. So you guys know that one of the biggest things that I'm a huge advocate for is creating a toolkit. So the more you can add into your toolkit now, you've got it for the rest of your life. You might not need some of the things now, but 6 months' time, 6 years' time, boom, you've got it. If you've got kids, keep filling that toolkit up as well and keeping them in mind, because so much of what we do is also replicable for them in the future. So you want to be able to sort of teach and lead by example. So good evening, Pip. I've just seen that Pip has joined us as well. Massive good evening. There we are. So feel free to keep your cameras on, off. We're going to be starting first with a really nice, relaxed, it's called entering the learning state. That's kind of the technical name for it. But what this actually does is it activates both parts of our brain, so both hemispheres. And it's based on a method called Hack-Allow. Don't worry at all, Pip. It's on a method called Hack-Allow. You're no doubt going to be hearing me talk a lot about this. But what we're going to be doing is starting with that. So let me just... Is there a way that I can... Yes. End the slideshow. Just want to get a little bit of music on. And this is how we're basically going to be starting for the foreseeable sessions. So take a moment. Let's go with Whispering Wind. Take a moment to sit back. Get comfy. Beautiful. So sit back, close your eyes. And it is a very short exercise for us to do, a very powerful one, just to help you with releasing the day and bringing your awareness back into the now. So with your eyes closed, just sit or lay back and just begin to bring your awareness now to your breath. Take a long deep breath in and sigh it out. Imagine if there's any tension, anything you've been down to, you feel within your mind or body, imagine you're giving yourself permission now to release that by simply setting that intention of releasing. Will really help to do so. In through the nose and exhale out through your mouth. And once you have found yourself drifting into that place of relaxation, allow yourself to go deeper now. With every breath that you take, on the exhale, you go deeper. Knowing that this place is familiar for you. And again, last breath, go deeper now. And whenever you are ready, I'm going to invite you to open up your eyes and pick a spot on the wall in front of you, around 45 degrees above eye level. So just raising your eyes up ever so slightly and focus on that spot. And notice that your awareness begins to spread out, and let it. Let your peripheral vision spread out, up to the corners and down to the bottom corners, keeping your eyes focused simply on the dot. Notice how you can expand your awareness even further now. Notice that within just a matter of moments, that even though you're looking at the spot, you can see the area around the spot, and that's expanding outwards, spreading beyond that. The spot, the area around it, and all the way out to the corners of the room, so that you're in all of your awareness at the same time. Spread it further and further. If you were to stretch your arms out at your sides, you would be able to see your fingertips wiggle. If you wish so, you can do so. But you're still looking at that spot in front of you. Imagine you are taking that awareness and wrapping it around and behind you now. Open up your awareness even further, so you are aware of what is going on behind you while you're still looking at that spot in front of you. When you notice how good that feels, bring your eyes down to eye level, keeping your awareness all around you. Notice how good this feels now. And close your eyes. Your mind, your conscious and unconscious, is going to take on numerous suggestions. It's going to be open to seeing things that are able to come to you in the near future. Your mind and awareness is going to be open to all possibilities, with very little or no limitations, knowing that you have resources available to you at all times. With this simple knowing, with your awareness greater and stronger than before, in your own time, you can open up your eyes. Good. And if you wish to, you can take a little drink now. We're just hoping that that has just settled you in to be in this space. So if you have just joined us, a huge welcome. Just that. There we go. And so I'm hoping that we're feeling nice and relaxed. We are in the room. And what we are going to be doing first, we're actually going to be starting with a visualization. But first things first, just on the breath and relax. We're going to be looking now at setting goals. And Chris is joining us. Lovely. Because at the end of the day, I know all of you are here for that something new. That's something tangible, whether that is a shift within. I'm almost like want to talk through what I mean when we talk about goals. There may be that you're looking for a shift within, you're looking for more confidence, you're looking for that feeling of being connected, more awakened, more connected to spirituality. I've seen lots of your guys' insights and values and stuff now, and what you're here for. And we've got a huge variety, and it's so wonderful because at the core of it is you, your mind, your energy, and the intentions that you set. That across the board, across all of us, comes from the same place. So we can learn from each other and grow with each other whilst making your journey specific for you. So with this first exercise, we're actually going to be doing a visualization where you get to go into your future with no limitations, no preconceived ideas. It's very natural to think, this is what I think I could do or what I want. But I'm going to recommend that you really keep your mind open to possibilities, open to suggestions that you might be like, what? I've never even thought of that. And also, you may find that right now it isn't crystal clear, and that's okay. Either way, we're going to be having a look at what is out there, what your mind concocts and bubbles up for you. And also, then having our conscious awareness of setting the goals together. We're going to be sharing and setting them together. So I just want you to have a little, you've no doubt got this in front of you now. So we're going to be, first things first, making sure that whatever you are bringing into your mind or is coming up for you, that you're setting your intentions and your goals and focusing on what you do want. It's very rare that this happens in terms of visualization. But when we're setting goals, what a lot of people tend to do is, well, this is what I don't want. If it's career, well, I want to make sure that I am not glued to my desk 9 to 5. I do not want a manager that micromanages me. I am sick of feeling low energy. I am sick of being in pain. I don't want this in my relationship. I don't want that in my relationship. And it's really easy to come from that place of what we don't want. Now, there is power in recognizing that and then saying, thank you. And here's what I'm going to learn because here's what I want. So throughout this, my ears are so activated. So if I do hear anything that's like, we're being drawn to what we don't want, then I'm going to be shifting it with you. That's going to be a massive, massive part of it. So with this exercise, I want you to just have fun with it. Right, to let the mind go and have fun with it. So we are going to get stuck straight into this one. So once again, I am going to be inviting you to sit back, get comfy. I'm going to put on some different music. Lovely. So just a very quick one just before we do go into this. Can I just say, if there's any distractions that could possibly happen, cats, dogs, phones, anything else, then just whip it on silent, whip them out the room, anything like that as best you can. This is going to be a real pivotal part for you looking forward for any sort of goal setting or setting your intentions. So in your own time, you can just begin to bring your awareness now to your breath. Michelle, I'm just going to quickly ask you, because you were the last one to close your eyes. Does that sound okay, or is it distorted through the speakers? That's okay. Lovely. Wonderful. We've gone with healing frequencies, some sound therapy along with it. I just wanted to make sure. Lovely. So closing your eyes and now just really drawing your attention once again to your breath. In through the nose and exhaling out through your mouth. And we're just going to begin by bringing your awareness down to your feet. And I want you to just feel that connection with either the ground or where your feet are placed. Notice what that feels like to have that connection with the ground. Notice how the moment you bring your awareness to a particular place, energy, sensations appear. And now I want you to imagine that you can feel roots growing out through your feet, grounding you, drawing down into the core of the earth and wrapping around the center. This may be a familiar feeling to you. Wrapping it around and drawing up pure source energy from the very core, through the roots, and now entering through the feet, traveling up through the legs. And this is very healing energy, activating healing cells within the body, through the knees, all the way now to the hips. Feel what it feels like to be seated or laid down where you are, to have that continuous support, that trusting and knowing that you are safe. And now imagine that light source energy is lighting up the area around your hips, the energy center at the very base of your spine. Imagine that now like a light bulb lighting up. You may feel warmth as that light is traveling up through your spine now, activating each energy point from sacral through to root, traveling up every vertebra one at a time, through solar plexus, yet another light bulb lighting up, all the way up through the spine, the heart now lights and is awakened. Bring your awareness now to your heart. And I want you to just ask your heart the question, what does my heart desire? And see what comes to your mind now. It may be a subtle whisper. It may be very clear. What does my heart desire? If there are any particular messages, sensations, or any feelings, preserve that now within the heart, within the mind. Continue to draw that energy up now through the neck and all the way through the throat. And once again, imagine like a light bulb lighting up, activating the energy center. And now I want you to ask that throat area, that energy center, what do I need to say? And see what comes to mind. There may be something particular, a conversation with someone. It may be a message for yourself. And now ask, what do I need to hear? Or what am I ready to hear? And simply listen. And once again, your mind, your throat, and your heart are going to preserve these learnings and messages. Continue to draw that energy up now, all the way through to the third eye, the point between the eyebrows towards the center of the forehead. And once again, imagine that white light energy like a light bulb switching on. And just ask, what am I ready to see? And just see what comes to you, if anything comes to you. Preserve anything that comes through now. This may simply be an awakening of the energy centers, or there may be messages that you were ready to be received now. Either way, it's right for you. And now, lastly, draw that light energy all the way up to the very crown of the head. And just like a crown, imagine that opening now. Crack open that very crown of your head. And imagine that white light, like a light bulb. And at the same time, you're going to welcome in a beam of white light from skyward down through the crown of your head. Welcoming in your higher self's energy, the universal energy, and any other guidance that you wish to take with you on this journey here tonight. And you can answer this in your mind now as I ask the question, is it okay for your unconscious mind to preserve any learnings and changes today and for you to be aware of them consciously? Answer in your mind now. I want you to imagine that in front of you there is a beautiful doorway. And it may be just yourself heading towards that doorway. Or if you were to have a guide, spirit, loved one on this journey with you, welcome them to go with you now if you wish. But you're going to be drifting into your future in a moment. So see if you wish someone to come with you. Either way, begin to make your way towards that doorway now. You reach forward, place your hand onto it, and you walk through that doorway. And you are in the most beautiful spring garden. And again, this may be a garden that's familiar to you, or it may be a sanctuary that you are yet to explore. It's a beautiful spring-like garden, and the sun is beaming down. There's butterflies, flowers, birds. Your feet are on the grass. Just begin to walk now, and you see a path ahead of you. Walk towards the path and walk along the path. And you notice in the distance that there is an archway, a big white archway. It may be a wicker archway, it may be brick. Just see that now. And as you make your way towards that archway, it says above it, 3 years from now, in big, beautiful letters. Walk towards that archway with the sun beaming down on you. You get that feeling of excitement as you know you are about to step foot into your future. Everyone and everything that is ready for you, that is meant for you, that is in alignment with you, is on the other side of that archway. You take a step through now. There is a beautiful white beam of light. And you are stepping into your future 3 years from now. Notice what you see around you. What are you doing with your life and how are you feeling? Take some time to go through different areas of your life, walking, talking, and embodying this version of you 3 years from now. What is your confidence like as you're doing those things? Who are you with? What is your health like? And what goals are you reflecting back on from the last 3 years? What have you achieved in that space and time? Preserve these now for you to be aware of them consciously. Take in all that you have done, all that you are doing, and the person that you are. And once you have done that, you can turn back around and now you see the archway and it says 1 year from now. Walk towards the archway as you're coming back towards the present now, back through, step through and into it, a bright white beam of light. And now explore 1 year from now. What are you doing? This might be with your personal life, your professional life. See all that is ready for you 1 year from now. What is your health like? Your financial situation? Your relationships, your level of happiness and fulfillment. Remember, this is completely limitless for you. And now, walk back towards that archway that now says 6 months from now. Step through into that archway and see yourself in 6 months' time. How are you feeling? What goals have you achieved recently? What are you proud of? Take any learnings, and you're going to preserve them in the unconscious now. Take everything in around you that you are doing, that you have, who you've become. And lastly, turn back to look at that archway now that says 3 months from now. And take a step through. And you are now just 3 months from now. What can you see or feel that you have achieved that's in alignment with you, that's in alignment with your higher healed self? What goals have you achieved or are you working towards? How do you feel within yourself, health-wise, spiritually, physically, mentally? And breathe that sensation in now. See all that is available for you, limitless. And now, in your own time, I want you to turn to face that archway and walk through, and you're straight back into that beautiful spring garden now. Walking through, and once again, that sun is beaming down on you. The smell of the flowers as you're walking along. Knowing that all has been preserved within the mind. Your future has been awakened. And all that you are meant to preserve will have been preserved, consciously and unconsciously. And all that is meant for you in divine time is ready and on its way. As you're walking through the garden, breathe that sun in. Breathe the grass below you. And now you see that beautiful doorway. Walk back towards that doorway, knowing that at any point you can always come back to this beautiful, safe space of your spring garden. Placing your hand onto the door. If you had spirit, a guide, or a loved one with you, thank them. Give gratitude. It is never a goodbye. It's simply a see you soon. Walk through that doorway now, bringing your awareness to your breath as you bring your awareness in through the nose and out through the mouth in a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet once again. Your awareness is surrounding you in the room. If you wish to, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And keeping your eyes closed if you wish, you may be able to hear what I'm doing. Rub your hands together now. I want you to feel that energy within your hands. It will feel like a heat building up as you rub them. Keeping your eyes closed, place your palms over your eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. Connect the fingertips to the forehead and just give a gentle press there. Good. If you wish to, you can open your eyes, and as you do so, just bring your hands down to your heart and just take a moment with your eyes open. You can get back into where you pictured that dot before And expand your awareness now back into the room. Knowing that your heart, knowing that your mind unconsciously took on all preserved learnings from that. You may be like, whoa, I remember nothing. Or you may have very vivid images. Either way, what I'm going to be inviting you to do now is pick up your pen and paper, whether you have a notebook or you're working from the workbook. And I want you to free write. We're in a very heightened state now. Whether that is simply feeling more relaxed, or we may have activated more from within. And we're going to be, let me just turn this music down. There we go. We're going to be writing down anything that either you saw or you felt, or now consciously create that. Where do you want to be in 3 years' time? What do you want to be doing? What do you want to feel like? What do you want to achieve? This is an opportunity to let your mind go wild. 1 year's time, 6 months' time, and 3 months' time. This may be in the particular areas of your values. It may be the areas that you looked at in the wheel of life. It may be something new for you. There's no boundaries here. But take some time now to write down anything that came to you. And I am going to be opening up as well the chat, or if you have anything that you want to ask, we're going to be keeping this so interactive now moving forward. Please do share. I'm just going to put that bit of music back on just because we're anchored into that nice, relaxed place. Free flow. Let the mind go. You'll see the picture on the screen, which is a blank canvas. I want you to picture that the next 3 years are a complete blank canvas for you. You may be like, well, it's not, or I've got this to do. Just let the limitations be completely obsolete. The mind brings in something, and remember, say it, see it, and feel it the way you want it. key thing to remember with this is there's no right and wrong. Simply have fun, let your imagination go wild. We're going to be talking more about this over the coming weeks with regards to the energy and intentions behind what you believe is possible and what's actually possible. And also, if you don't have big, wild goals and you're here for more fulfillment, more happiness, go with what's right for you. So Chris has asked a really powerful question. If thoughts came into my mind, does that mean that they are the right paths to follow? Some seem to be what I expected and others not. So with the stage that we are at, just because something came to your mind and you write it down doesn't mean that it will be the path that you follow. But what I will recommend is you write it down anyway. I know you'll get this and I will share the little story after, but if I say the words Route 66, remember when I shared that story of I just kept seeing this Route 66. I was like, what? And I wrote it down and then look where that took us. Awesome. So don't worry if they're not some big, scary, audacious goals that you're, they may just be simple ones, and really tune into your values as well. And more than anything, this isn't necessarily the goal setting part. This is just letting your imagination go wild. See what came to you. Once you are done, pop a little yes in the chat. Lovely. Fabulous. Lovely. Okay. So first things first, let me just knock that off. I am going to end the show for a momento and new share desktop. Let me, your screen sharing, stop sharing. Yes, there we go. Cracked it. I nearly did a Nath SOS then, but I did have it. You were like ready to unmute yourself. So what we're going to be doing now, just for the next 5 minutes or so, would anyone like to share anything that came to them? And this might be something that was expected, and I just want to just get in that flow of us being in a safe space. This is a coaching circle where you can share anything. Did something come to you that surprised you? Did something come to you that you were like, oh yeah, I totally expect that? Or you're like, I have no idea. Or you're completely enlightened. I know I've done this experience a load of times myself, guided lots of people through it. And each time is so different. But I will quickly say, when I did this exercise myself years ago, I kept seeing this image of this Route 66 sign. And a long and short of it was I had no idea what it meant, but I followed it and I put a Route 66 sign on my vision board. I presumed it was where I wanted to go. And then I turned it into a program, Route 66, Your Highway to Happiness. I know a good few of you are on that. And then from there, I was like, this would be such a cool idea as a TV show. And I ended up meeting with movie producers and filmmakers and script writers. And then I got pregnant and COVID happened. So there's a bit of a pause on it. But I'm sharing that because that's the power of something seeming like what, but it can be in alignment for you, for the future, for somebody. So just go with it. So I am going to say, who would like to share? Oh, sorry, I've just turned the volume up. Would anyone like to be brave and share? Oh, let me just unmute.
Kept seeing it was almost like seeing a word for the 1 year particularly, and very much for the 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was almost like the word change was flashing lights at me. Wow. I don't know.
And whenever we see something that's symbolic, the first thing I would say, if there was something that's a bit abstract or a bit symbolic and you can't quite make out what it is, how did it make you feel when you saw it?
Good.
Okay. And when you say you felt good, where would you say that you felt that, if you were able to think back and locate?
I don't know.
Would you say it was in the head, the heart, or the gut? If you were to know, where would it be?
Heart.
Heart. Awesome. And what I now want you to have a think is there any areas of your life that is pulling on the heart a little bit, where the heart feels uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. So what that could be is if it was something that was representing change, you felt it in your heart, that's probably a calling from the heart for change.
Okay.
And if you can locate an area of your life that isn't so great within the heart right now, have a little think whilst we continue on for a moment. Write that down. Does that help?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome. Anyone else? Did anyone else like to share anything that came through? Obviously, don't worry if not. We've got lots which we're going to be moving on with, but I just want to see if there's, just like Chris just did then, it's not scary, is it?
No. We're all good together.
Just going to hold the space. No, we're all good. Amazing. So what we're going to be doing next, bearing in mind that is a visualization process. And just like Chris said, it was something that was quite symbolic. that can then have a little think if there was anything that came through just as we did a really quick process then. Could that be linked to a particular feeling? And if so, is that feeling active now? Or is that feeling something that you are desiring? So you can almost do some of your own coaching within, depending on what came up. Always ask yourself, okay, where would I feel that? Would that feel good if I had that? Yes. Does it feel good in that place right now? No. Is that what I need then? That can be a real internal way of, before we sort of start looking at the goals. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From like an energetic point of view. And what we're also looking for here is in alignment with who you are. So let me just bring back up. This is going to be like the last slide. Who here, before we do, who's done a SMART goal before? Yes. I feel like we're like not sucking it. I'm not going to be teaching you guys this. This is just going to be a very quick process. In fact, let me just minimize that because I want to screen share. Back down here. But this is what we are going to be. Did I just minimize that? Uno momento. Yes, I did. So there we are. I'm totally getting my head around this now. Boom. Okay. SMART. So obviously, in order to begin to actually move forward with a particular focus, not only are we going to be working on the very basics as we move through this program, i.e. making sure that you are sticking to good habits, you're drinking your water. I'm going to be sharing another meditation with you. So we are building those fundamental habits that are going to be helping you to move forward. But we also want to start looking now at what is it that you want to move forward with, and going through each and every one of your first initial emails, our conversations that we've had, your values, what you want from this program. Some of you have filled in that like personal reflection, which we shared last week. Don't worry if you've not had a chance yet, do it this week and fire it over to us. It's so insightful that I know you want more. I know that there is something within you that you want to like break through or discover or have that's tangible. And this is a really simple but powerful model to get us off the ground. From there, this is where the coaching circle is going to be coming in more, where we can start to share, work through, build and grow from. So when it comes to setting a particular goal, we obviously want to make sure that it's specific. We want to be making sure that it's something that you can clearly see, and it's also something that you are able to achieve. Measurable, making sure that it can be something that you can either track physically, mentally, or emotionally. And it's also going to help you to indicate when you are on your way to achieve it. If you want to take a screenshot of this, let me just, there we go. This is thanks to the coachingtoolscompany.com. Actionable. We don't want to be setting a goal that you're like, well, actually, I can't take action on that until whenever. I want you to be really thinking about something that throughout the next month you can really start to work towards and have that progress either within this month or moving forward. And also making sure that the steps are within your control. Realistic. It's a word that I kind of struggle with, and we're going to be coming on to this more, as you can imagine. We want to make sure that it's something that if we were to let go of any limiting beliefs, because that's what we're going to be working on as well moving forward, if you were to wave a magic wand and get rid of some limiting beliefs, is it actually something that, do you know what? Yeah, I could actually achieve that. If so, fantastic. And time bound. We are going to be slightly flexible with this, and I'm going to come on to more about that in the next session. But for now, we do want to sort of be having an idea of a specific time, because if it's, say, the health, let's say, for example, and I want to feel a certain way or feel achieve something within health, we need to be able to set a time on that, purely because it's going to help you actually set actionable steps to be able to go on and achieve the goal. So it is quite sort of simple, isn't it, really, when we look at that. And another one that we were letting go of, we were adding an extra T on the end, is trusting the process. If right now you're sat there and you're like, I've got 1 million goals that I want to do, or I want to really try to home in on one and trust the process, that when you're on your way to achieve a particular goal, here's the magic thing, is it isn't necessarily just the goal, which is the really exciting part. It's who you become along the way. So, Chris, I'm just going to use yourself as an example. Remember when we did that vision board workshop, 3 years ago now?
Yep.
And you set a specific goal of walking a particular amount of miles.
Yeah,
It was
500 miles.
500 miles. So you set the goal of 500 miles. So we made it specific. It was measurable. It was actionable, realistic, time bound. Very time bound, wasn't it? It was over the case of
it was over a year. Yeah.
Over a year. Now, in a nutshell, if you were to tell me what else happened as a result of you setting that one goal and believing in yourself and going on and achieving that?
Just changed my whole focus and my mindset as well. And I think I was inspiring other people. So then their feedback was just high energy levels. And things like sort of I wouldn't dream of going out for a walk in the rain, but I did, because it was adding a few more things to my few more miles. And I'm doing a similar one this year, which I'm behind on. So that's one of the things I want to really get focused on, is catching up.
And if we were to then look at, as a result of you gaining your confidence, feeling more inspired, feeling more inspiring, what did you do career-wise?
Changed my job.
Which you wanted to do for how many years?
Probably at least 3, 4. Yeah.
As a knock-on effect, can we see that it isn't just when we set, this is why when people struggle sometimes to set one goal, because they're like, what about this? By setting that goal and taking the action, it starts the biggest ripple effect.
Yeah.
And then you started your own business. Next thing, you're doing lives on social media.
Yeah.
The impact that it can have from setting just one goal, because you're evidencing to yourself, I am taking myself seriously. I'm going to achieve this specific thing. So this is when I say, trust the process. It isn't necessarily just about the goal at hand, is it?
I think as well, because that was such a big goal that I set in the January and then achieved it. And I've said before, I was stuck to what put on that. That was the first time I'd done a vision board. And at the end of the 12 months, I'd achieved everything on it. But it also then made me think, right, my next vision board, it made me think, right, I can put what I want on here, because if it's on there, it might take longer than a year. And the camper van's classic example. Yes. I didn't expect that to be probably for about another 5 years, actually. But hitting this year, it's just the best thing ever.
Absolutely. And just for anyone who doesn't know, one of the things that you put on, and I remember you even saying this, you were so nervous to even talk and share, weren't you? But you're like, I would love to have a camper van and be able to travel around, you and your husband, and see it. And like you said, you fast tracked that. You set that as a 4 or 5 year goal, brought it forward. And if you guys who are on here aren't already friends, just go and check out Chris's profile. It's so inspiring, because you're doing it, you're living it. And if we think it came from that one goal that we made pretty smart, that then had the knock-on effect confidence-wise, that impacted your health, your career, your relationship, your ability to travel. So thank you so much for letting me share that as an example. So what we're going to do now is I am actually going to keep this open, because this is going to be going into next session as well. Just so that you know, we're not going to be, what time are we on? We're not going to be trying to rush through anything like that. This is going to be this session and next session, and then taking it quite organically in terms of if there's any blocks, limiting beliefs, breakthroughs that come through. We're going to be doing some interactive coaching, some NLP, hypnosis, the lot along the way to really begin to take the steps and take the action. Of course, first we need that clarity. So Chris, hang on, there's Christine Naden. Well, that was weird. I didn't have any goals. It was just a sense of well-being, calm, peace, and happiness. I only saw it for 3 years, but I cannot tell you what I saw for 1 and 6 months. I didn't fall asleep. The weirdest experience. So Chris, I'm going to say this for you then is that blank canvas. This is a chance for you to now begin to think, okay, what one goal do you want to begin to work towards? So this is for Christina. So what I'm going to do is let's start with that sense of getting specific. So I am actually going to end the show once again, stop the share. And here we are. I want you to now, I'm going to put on a little bit of chill out music, start to have a think. What is that goal? And please, please know that this is a safe space. Feel free to unmute, chat, share as we start to think about what that goal could be for you. Now, there may be a couple. If you really feel torn between a couple, write down a couple, bash it out with me. I can ask you some quick questions that will help to narrow it down to be the one that you focus on. Bearing in mind what Chris just said. This is the pebble in the pond effect. So we'll keep this chill outy music on. If you want me to turn it off, if it gets too distracting, then please just say. So let's start to have a think and write down what could that goal be. That's a bit better. And of course, if you need to reflect back on your values, there is a really cool exercise that we're going to be doing around your values once you've got your goal, checking in to making sure it's in alignment. So of course, once you've got that goal, start to work your way through. And like I said, there isn't a massive rush on this. We are going to be coming back to it as well next week. Okay, good. So if you guys find it distracting at all whilst we're having a chat, feel free to mute. Sometimes it actually helps to hear, but go with what feels right for you. So Chris has said, I feel a bit stuck with which to choose around health. So Chris, I'll ask a couple of questions, and this can be the same for anyone if they've got like maybe a few different ones in mind. If you were to achieve one that was going to have the greatest effect on your level of fulfillment, which one would it be?
See, the main one I put was cut down on sugar, because I feel that sugar is triggering. I feel that just lately I've noticed that I think sugar is triggering flares in my RA.
Good. Okay.
But how can I? So that was the immediate one I put down. But then I thought, it's not smart, it's not measurable.
This is where, so if you've got something like that, so this is where people say, for example, quit smoking or cut down on sugar, what would the goal be? What would the outcome of that be? So if you were to cut down on sugar and that would reduce the flare-ups, what could that goal be? I'll give some examples. It might be a particular lifestyle that you can create for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so
go on.
Yeah, so one of the others, so the next one I put was exercising 3 times per week, because, and I suppose that would have a knock on because you'd have less flares and more energy.
Yeah. Can I ask, what's your biggest driver for sugar? What causes you to crave or causes you to have sugar? Do you know?
Boredom problem. Not boredom, because I'm not bored, but it's mindless. I suppose if I'm working and I'm stressed and I get up for a break and I walk around and think, the first thing I think is, right, what can I eat?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not hungry, I think, what can I eat? So I'll get a drink or a piece of fruit, and then I'll sit down and I'll think, well, that hasn't cut the mustard.
Yeah.
I'll go and have a Kit Kat. And then I don't feel any better.
Yeah.
I feel more sluggish. Nighttime used to be bad for snacking, but actually I've managed to knock that one on the head.
Amazing. I remember you saying about that one.
So yeah, it perhaps is more in the day and whilst I'm at work, whilst I'm working.
So this could be, is it linked to work? Or is it, I know the outcome is to cut down on sugar. I'm just trying to work out if there is it a fulfillment thing?
Perhaps it's because if I wasn't working and I was, say, at home all day, I wouldn't be hitting the biscuit tin or I don't think I'd be looking for that sugar fix.
Okay.
Whether that's because I'm distracted, because I'd be doing things that I suppose you'd be doing things that make you happier than work.
Yeah, you're feeling more fulfilled. So what could be a great goal to focus on? Let's have a little think now. Is it giving yourself something else to do that does fulfill you when you have that break, rather than going to get the sugar?
Okay.
It's an easier thing to put down, cut back on sugar. But actually, if there's an emotional driver behind it, there's no doubt something that's still going to make you trigger. And we want to make sure that
I knew as soon as I wrote it wasn't right.
But this is good. There's no wrong. There is no wrong or right. I'm just trying to make sure that it's something that's really gonna help you in moving forward. So start to have a think that whilst you are at work, in particular, one of the easiest things is there a replacement you could replace the habit of the sugar with? So if so, we're looking at a bit of a lifestyle switch up here.
Yeah.
And looking at the trigger. So that might be, you have, I'm just giving an example, a coloring book, a mindfulness book. And every time you go to stand up and you go to make a brew, you have something that makes you go and sit down, and rather than sitting down and having a snack,
that's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
So, and also it can be, it sounds really silly if you have particular, look at it, if you have particular mugs that you drink your cups of tea or coffee with, that you have a particular snack with, switch your mug up, get yourself a new mug.
That's true. That's true. That is.
We tend to have a dippy mug, or we tend to have one that, it's we want to look at what we can change that are the triggers or the habit links.
Yeah.
So what I'm really hoping for all of us as well is that we're seeing how when you share, we can really bash it out together.
Now, that's really helpful.
It's a confidence thing as well. So what I'm actually going to share with you for this week's meditation is a boosting your confidence, so that ready for next week, you can feel nice and confident to come on and share. And we can start, because like Chris's goal then was to cut back on sugar, where it's probably completely different now. The outcome's the same, but we've worked through it to begin. Now it isn't just one. We can start to look at what else is measurable, and we can go off from there. So would anyone else like to share? Is anyone else like, I have no idea what my goal is? Or has everyone got one? Because obviously this week, if you haven't already done those reflective questions, that's no doubt going to help you. And like I keep sort of trying to like reiterate, is this goal is not the be all end all. This is not really going to be the big thing from the program. It's going to be what we release, what we do, and how we go about moving forward with it. That's where the biggie breakthroughs come through. Would anyone like to share in the chat? I think I can see a couple of people typing. That, or you're on Facebook. Whilst if you are typing and you're not on Facebook, what I am going to also suggest is, okay, Sharon, thank you. We'll have a little read in a sec, is that you use the Facebook group this week. If you start to have moments throughout the week, and Natalie as well, I know Nat's going to be watching this back on replay, the same for yourself, my darling, is throughout the week, if you have a random thought pop into your head or a question about something, just share it. Just share it. If it's something that's a quickie, I will type it and I will write a response back to you. If not, I'll bring it into this session. Like, this next month is all about you. Use it, utilize it, go for it. The bigger the breakthroughs will come. So, okay, I totally get that. Yeah, I'm not going to say it out loud, but Christina, I hear you. So Sharon, my goal is focus on my well-being and have broken it down into exercise, nutrition, nature, and mind. I love this. Wow. Love this. So I'm guessing with that, we can get quite specific, really, can't we? Whether that is looking at a routine, whether that is looking at what are you going to be doing on a regular basis moving forward, with that goal in mind. And one for Sharon and everyone, if we've got a goal that's got a few different legs to it, because that one says like the exercise, nutrition, nature, and mind, in order to make that measurable, how will you know when you are like, I've done it, I've achieved it, this is it, this is how I feel? Because life's still going to be going on. We might have kids, we've got business, we've got this, we've got that going on, COVID. We want to make sure that you can go, yes, what I am doing, so we can celebrate. We can let the mind know, good, keep going, keep going, keep going. This is good. We want to be able to celebrate it. So Sharon, start to have a little think about what those like almost like flagship little goals are along the way. A very quick way to do that, you'll know this from the academy, is on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling your well-being is overall? That might be a daily check-in. You might have a notification that you set. I know Nathan does these. He's really good at this. Have a notification come up on your phone at, say, 2 p.m. every day that says scale of 1 to 10 well-being. That way you can start to check in and measure, how am I doing? What am I on track with? Is it my nutrition? Do I need to go outside more today? So little ideas like that. And I'm going to suggest that if you are someone who works well with little reminders, sticky notes, you got your heart sticky notes. That was one of the reasons why. Use them, stick them freaking all over the house if you need to. Chris,
I don't wear one, scary.
Yeah, you know the score, don't you, love? Stick them up in the kitchen. Stick them wherever your unconscious mind takes you into a zombie trance. Whenever we are in our unconscious mind and we are on autopilot, when we see a heart sticky note that's a bit like, oh, not seeing that before, it triggers us to come back into our consciousness. So I'm hoping that helps. So my goal is to have a relationship. It's specific and measurable, but then I get stuck. So Michelle, I'm going to actually talk about this one more on the next session, because there's a big piece that sits behind this, which is the emotional self. Is that okay? In the meantime, I want you to start to think, when it comes to relationships and that side of it, how do you want to feel when you're in a relationship? This is going to be the short-term goal until we're bashing it out on the next session. How do you want to feel in that? And then what can you do outside of manifesting in a relationship to help you get into that place now? Because if we feel unsatisfied, unfulfilled, unloved, whatever else, and what we desire is a relationship, we're coming from a place here and the relationship is, let's say, the vibrations up here. We want to be getting yourself into that state to be able to manifest in what you desire. We want you to be able to then see what's out there, because it's easy to go with relationships. There's just nothing. It's just not. I've been looking for a while, or doing this, doing that. We want to make sure that your goal for now is helping you raise yourself up to that state of feeling like you are in a loving relationship with you. Nath, my goal is to find a new career that provides fulfillment and personal development. Fantastic. That's actually a really specific one. So we know how this works with our RAS. The point of today's session is to really start to activate our awareness of, what do we want? Blank canvas. What do we want more of? The RAS is going to be out there thinking more of this. So Nath, we're going to be working on that more. Chris, but I'm stuck with coming up with a goal. I feel a bit of a bottleneck, if that makes sense. Yeah, should I just find something small? Absolutely. 100%, Chris. You find something small for today's session. Let your mind ponder, let your energy settle, let your mind, as you're going about your day, if I were to know, if you want to write this down, if anyone's a bit stuck on a goal, here's a nice one that gets your conscious mind out of the way. If I were to know what I wanted more of, what would it be? If I were to know what goal I want to achieve, what would it be? So the critical faculty of the mind is going, yes, we don't know. It likes that part. Agree. I don't know what I want, but it allows you to like divert it. If I was to know, what would it be? And then just listen, keep asking yourself that question. And lastly, be the person I want to be to attract the relationship. Michelle, in a nutshell, yes, yes, yes. And this is my challenge. I join dating sites and leave within an hour. My belief is I waste my time. Yes. So right now, the goal is not another human being. The goal right now is this. The goal right now is helping yourself to feel fulfilled, happy, and actually you're not wasting your time on you. So do whatever you need to do this next week to start to raise and build that up. Pip, I'm hoping you're okay. I don't know if you're just listening in, or you're making notes. I know you've been out most of the day today, so I'm hoping that you're okay. I'm hoping that you two have also enjoyed it. So take down any notes which you've just written down within the chat. Utilize the group to share, brain dump down any thoughts. I'm going to be taking lots of notes of that ready for the next session. And I'm going to be sharing, like I said, a confidence meditation with you. Ideally, do it every single day. It's going to be max 10 minutes. Had a full day ticket, is nothing. Lovely, lovely, lovely. No worries at all. So listen as often as you can. Daily would be ideal. And the next session, we're going to be bringing more forward. So how are we all feeling? We feeling good?
Yeah.
Good. Wonderful. If you haven't yet filled in the little thingy that I sent you, the personal reflection, feel free to do it this week and pop it over to us if you wish. So Zoe, lovely to see you. Are you good? Thumbs up. Wonderful. Wonderful to see you. So have a great rest of your evening. Great to see you. Well done. And I look forward to catching you in person next week. Bye. See you soon. Bye, bye, bye.